Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome to another indie comic book review. This is episode number 2, the follow-up review tour of the Dark Avenger comic review. Even though it's its own show, it is working separate from the Dark Avenger comic review. As I told you guys, and I was sick during the first episode, Mike did the first episode. The indie comic reviews are all the books we've read this week from the indie companies, and the Dark Avenger comic review is basically going to be the big two plus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I want to keep on the big two review, but I'll probably make a mention of it on here too. But beside the point, we are talking about books that were released on October 9th, 2013. Once again, we have a lot of digital books, and we got a nice amount of paper copy books we want to review here. Yep. Some books were not released on the 9th. We're going to review the digital comic books first. Mike has the covers here. Unfortunately, we have no internal artwork for you guys, but if you guys go on comicrelated.com and you type in the name of the comic, I'm very sure that there's a preview up of it, or you could just go on google.com and type in the comic book, and I'm sure preview pages will pop up. But we will talk about the artwork. And the first book I want to talk about actually came out the first week of October, October 2nd, 2013. I wasn't feeling good, so I couldn't review it. And that is Bushido, The Way of the Warrior, issue number 1. This is a 5-issue in 5 weeks series, and it comes out of Image Top Cow. And it is about a samurai in feudal Japan's time. It involves vampires and werewolves, and I know everybody already is like, what? Trust me. I didn't think I was going to like it either. First of all, I enjoyed the artwork
a lot. Was really amazing.
I really liked the artwork. This boy who's on a ship gets attacked. The entire ship gets attacked and destroyed, and this boy survives and somehow is brought adrift to feudal Japan, where he's found by this man. I forgot his name, how to pronounce his name. Isamu.
Yeah.
And he raises the boy as his own, but he does have his own son. The boy not being fully from where they are from, his goal is to become a samurai. And unfortunately, that can never happen because he's not a pureblood, he's not of those people.
Right.
So, later on, like it does a fast forward in time, his brother becomes head samurai, and the shogun actually likes him so much he wants him to marry his daughter and become shogun when he's ready to step down. And that's when we find out that the main character, I can't remember his name, Kichiro.
Yeah. I think
I'm probably saying his name wrong. See, these are all names that
but he falls in love with...
he was in love with the woman.
Right, but they can't get married because...
It's one of those classic kind of moments.
Yeah.
Where the girl loves the other brother, but she's forced to marry the more decorated brother.
Yeah, and... you know, his brother's like really like so.
His brother's very envious of him because the father gave Kirochi personal lessons because Kirochi was not from where they were from, and it took a lot longer for him to master his technique, and the brother became very envious of him, and that's why things didn't go so well.
And with that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And then when he's basically getting ready to leave, he wants to go off on his own path to find out who he is, you know, and what his purpose is in life. And his brother finds out that he was with his wife for that one last time, saying goodbye, and a little bit of a fight breaks out. Like Mike said, older brother, or his brother's a jerk. He gets ready to set sail to new lands, and then the demons, or the vampires, from his haunted past are now back, but they're in Japan, or feudal Japan, and they're going after the Shogun. And long story short, lots of fights later, Kurochi goes back, and his father is trying to defend the Shogun, not even defend the Shogun. He gets attacked by one of the vampires and ends up, spoiler, even though this is 2 weeks old already, he ends up getting killed by the vampire, and Kurochi is mistakenly labeled and accused by his brother of being the murderer of their father, and that's where it's to be continued.
Right, because the brother before, doesn't really trust him and all that, and yeah, it kind of had like a Highlander feel to it, with the sword and everything. Like I kind of felt that's how the story is.
And if you see us looking this way, we are referencing to notes that we have, and the actual comic, the digital comic book itself is next to us, so we're referencing it. Yes. Once again, I'm not going to take the computer and turn it, so internal artwork, once again, you'll have to find on your own, guys. Next up is this week's issue, which is Bushido, The Way of the Warrior, #2, which takes up right where the last issue left off. Kurochi is now a prisoner. He is labeled as a murderer of his father, the Shogun, and he's basically disgraced. He's lost all honor. The Shogun's daughter tries to, reason with her father and say there's a reason for it. Nobody wants to hear anything. Basically, he's damned without even having a fair trial. However, he does escape because he wants to figure out what the vampires are doing back exactly, and he wants to basically stop them before they try to assassinate.
So basically, the reason why the demon did what she did to the father.
Right, and also she wants to prevent them from attacking the Shogun. And after a long, this was highly action packed. I really like the stylized artwork. It's a painted kind of artwork. Same thing in the last issue.
Mm-hmm. Like more realistic.
And I liked it. I liked it a lot. Basically, Orochi, who is I forgot his name now. It completely left me.
The brother's name?
Yeah, that's the brother's name. I forgot the other one now. These names are hard to remember, but anyway.
They don't mention much.
Orochi is about to marry the brother. Fudge. These names are horrible, but
like he's about to marry
the Shogun's daughter. The brother comes back. The main character, Hirochi, comes back. Hirochi,
yeah.
Hirochi comes back with the brother, and he tells the brother, I'll come back, I'll be a prisoner, you can do whatever you want to me, just give me audience with the Shogun. And the brother half does it. The brother brings him back to witness him marrying the girl that Hirochi loves, and then basically the next day he's going to be, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Executed.
Yeah.
And the book ends here with a more, this is where the stuff's going to hit the fan kind of feeling.
Because now the person who killed the father is now...
She's there along with the head. And, things are not looking good. And Orochi wouldn't take Hirochi's advice and double up the security and warn the Shogun. They all think he's lying, even though Orochi was attacked by these vampire things, and Hirochi actually fought alongside him to save him and his men, who were actually out to capture him and bring him back.
Right.
So Orochi is just a complete ass, and
yeah, I didn't like him when I read it.
I hope he gets his ass kicked. That's all. I don't hope he dies. I just hope he gets the sense knocked into him at least.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you get. And this is such a great series. It's a $2.99 book, guys. Well worth the read. The story is spectacular so far.
Definitely recommend.
It's 5 issues in 5 weeks. I know normally, you guys know, I'm not into doing that where it's an issue a week for 5 weeks. I did do it once or twice with the new 52, and not the new 52, with the 52 and Countdown and whatnot. But this is shaping up to be a really awesome miniseries. I can't wait for issue 3, and I can't wait to talk about issue 3 in the next episode. And I'm already getting tired from talking. So let's go to a book that Michael read. Let's go to, you want to talk about Damsels number 10?
Yes. So, here's, Damsels number 10. So, Damsels number 10, this book had, like, a really, like, huge story where, they like, it's more of an origin story if you really think of it, where, this woman talks about her life with her family, and they share like a big conversation with each other of how there was one person that talked about her childhood, of how hers was a little bit rough, whereas the other girl who she was with, I can't really remember the name of them because, you know, like, there was just so many names juggling around, but she was...
Yeah, there were a lot of characters in this book.
And she was talking about her life, how hers was good, and how she met with this girl who was a troll-like person, you know, like all green and everything, like a...
It sounds like Shrek. I didn't read this
kind of like
fully.
Shrek. And then there was this other story where there are 4 warriors that are, finding... some answers, and if you want to find out what it is, you could read this comic book. They meet up with this creature who has this sword, and then he says, if you want the sword, you're going to have to fight me for that. So, first of all, the artwork was really good, I have to admit that. And
I'm looking at the artwork. The artwork looks really nice.
Yeah, it's a very adventurous comic book. Like, there's just so much that they're going on the adventure for to... find out some stuff, and I really, I would recommend this comic book for those of you who like adventure comic books. Like, this comic would be really something. It's action-packed, and...
looks like you got trees attacking people.
Yeah, that's a tree who had the sword, actually. Really great. I would recommend it. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, because I really want you guys to read it. But I would say definitely pick that up if you're a adventurous type of person in the comic book.
Alright, and continuing along with you, why don't you do Halo Initiation number 3?
Halo Initiation. Where is that?
I guess find the cover. I didn't give it to you.
No, you didn't give it to me. Well, Halo Initiation, yeah, so basically... it's not like the video game Halo. Like, this is totally different. Like, there's a woman Master Chief who is on a mission of some type, and there's like a brief fight scene that she has.
Yeah, you should have read the other 2 issues.
Yeah, because it kind of was a little bit confusing.
Yeah. The good news is, after this series is over, now next month the ongoing series of Halo is going to start from Dark Horse.
Yeah, I actually heard about that. But, there is a fight scene she has with this other woman, because there's like a whole big feud between each other that they have, and the Master Chief woman wins because of the whole thing. And there's this some about a code that they're trying to get with this other person, and they can't use it because the other person didn't put the code in, and all that other stuff. Artwork is really spectacular. And they try to find a way to communicate with this person, so that way they could find out some stuff that they need in that. But it's really good. The ending part, though, was... oh,
don't start coughing again.
No, sorry. The ending part of, you find out a real shocking ending. And I don't want to spoil it, because... it just left me in awe when I saw the ending. But really good if you've read issues before, which I haven't. Then you would definitely like this book, and I recommend it.
Alright, next we have Ghostbusters issue. Oh, well, actually, it's called the New Ghostbusters, issue number 8. Last part to the story. I have not been reading New Ghostbusters, especially because the original Ghostbusters went missing. They restarted the numbering of the book, and they were gone for the entire first story arc. What I didn't know was the original Ghostbusters were coming back. Jumping into this book, the artwork has changed. It's not really bad, but it's not something I'm used to, that's for sure. I'm used to Dan Schoening, how do you pronounce his name? Dan Schoening?
Shoning.
Schoening's artwork. In this book, the art is by Doc Shanner. And I wasn't used to it, but at the same time we have Winston, who's taking care of a ghost on his own. Peter and Ray are dealing with a situation on their own.
With the girl that was with him.
With Ray, the woman who was working in Ray's bookstore, I forgot her name. And Egon is at Ghostbusters HQ. So it's like three stories happening at once.
Right.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. There's like when Winston was trying to get the ghost, like he was trying to find out some information about it. You know, because they do research about these things, and
and the guy told him he was docile. Oh, it's not a threat. He won't be a problem. And then yeah,
and he captures the ghost, but Ray and Peter were having a little bit of trouble at first with this big, humongous ghost.
Yeah, he was a pilot of a ship. He was like this big ice kind of a ghost.
Yeah, and it had a little bit of a backstory to it where he wanted to see the father's grave of some type.
Yeah, it was a teenage boy, and they didn't know what he wanted. And then they, at the end of the book, you find out that, spoiler, as he just said, he wanted to be with his father. He wanted to see his father.
Like, yeah, because he wanted to feel closer to him, and they did that.
Mm.
But I think the artwork's good. I mean, I have
no problem with the artwork. I like Dan Schoening's artwork better, and he was part of the second story, which that story wasn't as good because that was Ray, and I forgot what this other guy's. Oh, here we go. His name is no, I don't even. You don't even. Oh, Ron.
Yeah, Ron was really
the Rookie and Ron. And they're not Ray. I'm sorry. It was the Rookie and Ron, and they're explaining about what the Ghostbusters do, and
basically about the boogeyman.
Yeah,
so to say.
Yeah, I don't like Ron at all. Really do not like the his character, and that's really it. It was like a 3-page second story, and the next issue is all about Halloween. Ghostbusters, #1 favorite time of the year, I'm sure. And Egon's got the cover for next issue, so.
Yeah. But this issue, I really liked it. This Ghostbusters.
I thought it was okay. You really have to get that
I'm trying to, you know, it's been a long day.
Yeah. Sticking with IDW, Mike read this book. It's a #1 issue. It's Triple Helix with the exclamation. It's by John Burns.
Yep.
And
yeah, so this book was really amazing. Like,
yeah, John Burns did the Man of Steel series. He's the one that when they rebooted Superman back in the 1986,
right.
He did the Man of Steel series that brought him back, and he retold the tale of Superman's origin. John Burns has done a lot of stuff on his own recently from IDW and a few other things here and there. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but Triple Helix starts off where the superheroes are fighting against this Rocky like person, and he's like saying, you know, I mean no harm. I'm here to help you, and they can't understand him really because he talks of a different language than.
Yeah, apparently his name is Rock. They all know him, but this is a different transformation. This is he I don't know. He transformed. He went too far, or he changed, or whatever, and they don't know who he is. And they can't understand what he's saying, so it becomes this humongous fight.
Yeah, and they fight against him because he has a woman that he wants to be in care of. And meanwhile, we get this person, or this so-called villain, who kind of looked like Dr. Doom.
Once again, with the skeleton in the jar thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's like saying, and then this woman's like saying, you know, that does look like a villainous costume, and of course, she was right because of all the carnage that he did all over the city, and it was just like a whole big thing between fighting them, and if you want to know more, you can read the comic book. But once again, artwork was great, and the story with the whole, you know, with finding a little bit more about Rock and the rest of the characters, You could go down a little bit more, actually. And it was just really, there was a funny scene where the grandmother showed up and like saying, you can't go out and fight because you have to stay, and I thought that was kind of funny. But getting back into the story, though, they fight against the villain, and they found out a strategy of how to take him down, and you can find out how
Things
that
don't go
happened.
according to plan.
The ending, though.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry about that. Small technical issues of not charging the battery on the camera.
Your fault.
So we were talking about, you were just finishing off with the ending to Triple Helix.
Yeah, Triple Helix, the ending part is like really something else. Like, they meet up with these sort of robotic things, like, and they one time said that these were small thingamajiggers, but they've returned and they're bigger and
they're not so small.
Yeah. So
definitely a really good cliffhanger. The story was really gripping, and we left out a lot of stuff, obviously, but definitely something to look into. It's a #1 issue. I always tell everybody to give #1 issues a shot. If you are a fan of John Burns, if you're a fan of indie reads, definitely something you should look into, at least the first issue of. Right. After that, if you don't like it, you don't continue. That's what Mike's doing right now with a lot of the paper issues, which we will get into a few today. But now we're going to go into a book where we both kind of agree to disagree. You have cover B, I have cover A on my screen. Chew issue 37, Family Recipes, issue part 2 of 5.
yes.
I jumped into Chew really late. Apparently, John Layman has a end point planned, and I believe it's sometime really soon. So just like Walking Dead and Invincible, this is something I'm going to have to compendium up to catch up with. Now, I enjoyed this issue. It was a really quick read, honestly. It involved characters from the story previous, one that died who could see into the future, and the event is very self-contained. It's about him trying to help out his uncle, was it?
Yeah, his uncle.
Who was caught on some really raunchy photography.
It was like a food sort of pornography.
Food pornography.
Which was kind of,
yeah, that part kind of made me go, what? But anyway, and it was up to Agent Chew to help out his uncle, which he does. With the help of his... I think, yeah, who was the spirit, though?
I think it was his girlfriend or his wife.
No, his aunt, I think.
What? And he uses a toe that she left for him to give more information. Like, every time he eats the toe, she would give more information about...
Aunt Tony. It's the aunt. His aunt.
Okay, the aunt. And she would tell him what the future lies, like this is gonna happen, and so on and so forth, until he ate all the toe, and then
and then she's like, I can't give you any more information because, as you just noticed, and he's looking at it, and he's like, there's no more toe left.
Yeah, and mind to self, also note to self, I meant to say, he could only see her. Because she's a spirit, there's no one else but him that can
yeah,
see her.
When he eats somebody or a piece of somebody, I believed he could see into the past, but apparently he had things can appear in front of him also. But I liked it. I liked the artwork. I thought it was a really interesting issue. I'm definitely going to come back for the next issue.
Yeah, to be honest, I found the story kind of weird.
Well, that is what life is sometimes, weird.
I understand. I mean, I trust me, I've read weird comic books, but the whole thing about the spirit and everything, I mean, it was good.
Food porn.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, no.
I can think of one person who'd go crazy for food porn.
Okay, we won't go into that, but beside the point.
No, I don't think he'd like us mentioning his name on air.
If you want to check it out, you can, but I don't know. I found it to be a weird but okay issue of that one.
And it's kind of ironic that you brought up the Highlander, because this comic series actually reminds me a lot of the Highlander, and it's Eternal Warrior, issue #2. Now, we did not review issue #1. I didn't have the chance to read issue number 1, so I jumped into this thinking, the first issue. Well, it does give you. It actually did give a synopsis of the story thus far.
And what happened? Yeah.
So, apparently, the Eternal Warrior is immortal, and he's supposed to work for the Earth. The Earth wants something, he has to fulfill it, and he was working with this wizard in the beginning, and he walked away from his duties and broke the rules because his job was to kill this mother and daughter, and he wouldn't do it. And it turns out his daughter, in present day, is back, like she had walked out of his life for some reason, and she wants him to come back into the business, so to speak. And he doesn't want to do it at first. She threatens to kill him. He realizes there's something wrong. She gets attacked. There's 2 different types of art in here. The first one reminds me of the Carnage miniseries art.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get the artist up. There we go. Art is by, I knew it, Clayton Crane, Trevor Harrison, and Brian Reber. There you go. Chris Clayton. Clayton Crane.
Yeah.
I'm losing it. It's 5 in the morning. I can't believe I'm recording of something at close to 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, the artwork does alternate as the book moves forward. Like I said, 3 artists. We find out that somebody wants the Eternal Warrior dead because he's broken several, or his daughter dead.
Yeah, because the daughter said that she's broken some type of rule, and you know, it's like a whole big fight scene. There is somebody that does die though in this issue,
and the Eternal Warrior decides, I'm coming back, and she's like, good, because now we can find out what the Earth really wants. And he's like, to hell with that. I don't give a crap what the Earth wants. All I want to do is kill her. And she's like, oh boy. And it's like, to be continued.
This was really...
it was really interesting. I liked it as much as... I remember reading Shadow Man. That interested me. Exo-Men of War. And now Eternal Warrior definitely has me hooked. First issue that I read.
I would recommend it, actually.
I would absolutely recommend it, but I would say read issue number 1 because...
you'll get a better understanding.
It's always good to start off with the first issue and then move forward from there. Don't do what we do, where we just jump in at issue like 2.
Because this is an example of what we just showed you of that.
And then the final book digitally, and then you won't have to worry about us just sitting here talking to you guys without a book in front of us. Star Wars, issue number 10. We are in the 2nd story arc at this time. You have Han Solo trying to escape Boba Fett. You have the birth of Rogue Squadron. Guys, if you know anything about me, I loved the Rogue Squadron video game series from Nintendo, from N64 to GameCube. I have every single one of the games. I believe there was only 3.
Yeah.
And there was a prequel one for Star Wars. When Star Wars 1 came out, there was a prequel. I don't remember what it was, but I did get the game. We were renting it from Blockbuster. I got the title and I just bought it.
And also in this comic book, it had Darth Vader finding more about Luke Skywalker.
Yep, Darth Vader finally starts to get, starts to realize that Luke Skywalker is not just this random person. And obviously, I mean, we all know, Darth Vader knows that Luke Skywalker is his father by episode 5. His son.
Yeah, Darth Vader's son is Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Right, yeah.
He figures that out in episode... We all find out that Darth Vader knows this by episode 5, but this comic series takes place between episode 4 and 5. So, that's the time frame they gave us.
Right.
So, Luke is with Wedge, and they're hiding on an Imperial spacecraft, hoping to get there's a message that they sent back to the rebels, and it gets to them, but not really. And then this guy who wants to make a name for himself finds the fleet and sends the TIE fighters out to destroy them. And big surprise, Luke and Wedge are part of the TIE fighter attack brigade, to be continued.
Mm-hmm.
There is another part with Leia in here. Read it. Star Wars by Brian Wood has been amazing since issue number 1.
Even the artwork's amazing.
I've been wanting to review this book for 10 months now. Since issue number 1, I've been loving the series. I'm hoping to get the trade paperback of the first story arc. I want it in paper form anyway, so that's why I'm hoping to get the first trade paperback, and I will absolutely do a comic book corner review of the first story arc. We're now in the second story arc, even though it kind of plays off of what's been going on since issue 1. I've been really enjoying Star Wars. If you guys are not reading anything Star Wars, Dark Horse is amazing with 3 series. Star Wars, Hellboy, and the Dark Horse Presents series is really, really good as well.
Absolutely.
And soon to be Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Soon to be Halo. Guys, check out the Star Wars ongoing series, and if you enjoy this, check out The Star Wars, which is the original script from George Lucas that was pitched to the studios before, of course, they changed it to the Star Wars we all know and love today. This was a 5 out of 5 book. What would you have to say about it?
I really enjoyed this comic book with the whole Han Solo we saw. We're trying to get rid of Boba Fett, and even Darth Vader trying to...
It's interesting because we know what's going to happen in episode 5.
Yeah, because if you guys have seen all the episodes of Star Wars, then you'll see here, because there is references from the movie episodes that...
episode 4, yeah.
From episode 4, and it's building up, though. So if you guys want to read something that builds up, Star Wars is the definite story.
And this is the beginning of Rogue Squadron. Originally they were Red Squadron when they attacked the Death Star, and due to the fact that Biggs died and a few other people died, Wedge wants to now call it Rogue Squadron because they're the rebels after all. I like that, and I like the birth of the Rogue Squadron title.
Exactly.
So I would highly recommend, out of every book this week, I recommend 2 so far. Bushido, 1 and 2.
Definitely.
And Star Wars issue number 10.
Along with Triple X.
Mike
with third
Triple
pick
Helix.
of Triple Helix.
And Eternal Warrior is really good.
Yeah, and Eternal Wars, yeah.
Alright, now we're going into the paper books. Excuse me.
Oop, got a little bit of a buzz over there.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So, I guess I will start it off first. Avatar Comics, issue 38 of Crossed Badlands. By the way, it's a full...
Yeah, these are going to be Mike's books that he's testing out first. I didn't read any of the first 3, I believe.
Yeah, I've read halfway through the story, and I did this.
Knew it!
What did...
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I'm not even going to bother to review it. It is the most stupidest, dumbest book I have ever read.
Really?
Because the artwork is all over the place.
Let me see the cover a minute.
They swear like unbelievably, like every panel almost. And those words that come in the middle. Yeah, and those words that come in the middle, I've had enough of this comic book. Stay away from Crossed.
Alright, so what's next?
It's not bother reading that. Here's something, though, that is of interest. Dept of Monsterology, issue 1 of 4. And since this is the #1 issue...
What the hell is it about?
I am going to explain, but let me just say that who wrote it.
It's right there.
Oh, I was just making sure. The script is by Gordon Rennie, and art is by P.J. Holden. So there's this woman who goes underwater to find out about things that lurk beneath it.
Well, if you look at the cover...
if you look at the cover, which is folded like this, you could tell what's underwater. And, you know, Emma Hampton comes in and she just wants to find out what this whole thing is about. So... there are live specimens underwater, and there's this big robot named Harry who helps out this woman with the whole monsters and everything. And this is like a whole big fight scene that happens in this comic book. And Javier, they find something underwater, like a souvenir type of thing, and they want to do research to find out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he locks himself into, I think it's called an art point, sort of. And there's just like a whole big dialogue of, about the woman fixing the robot. And then we get, I believe, an origin story right here of how she used to be like all over the place, and this guy who used to mind tell and everything, and they fought against these zombies. So to say, and before you say anything, it's not going to turn out to be a zombie book, so don't worry. It's just an origin story. And they have a big fight scene, and Dr. Michael Calvary, who was a team leader, was in this comic book, and he discusses many other things, and if you want to know, you can read the comic book. And yeah, the end of part 1, lots of bloody stuff is gonna happen in Monsterology. With the artwork being great as well, I'm hooked on this book. I would say definitely pick this up. I mean, it is a mini-series, and there's only 3 more issues, so what company was that? I didn't...
Renegade, I believe it said in the back.
Yeah, so I forgot.
It's from Renegade Arts Entertainment. Renegade Art Entertainment.
So if you want to check out something that's good, then this is for you.
I was interested in knowing about that one, because Vertigo's been putting out a lot of good stuff.
Vertigo of Coffin Hill, issue number 1.
Extra size.
Extra size. This is more of an origin story of talking about how the woman named Coffin Hill, how she became to be who she is. And they have the backstory of how she was a police officer who got shot during a scene, and then we see this when she's in the hospital. Artwork is really amazing. This artwork, like all red and everything, to describe a character. And there's this costume party. Her mother's really, she's something else in this comic book. And yeah, she crashes the party for a little bit, and then she goes out with some friends of hers who are like punk-like people, more like gothic, I would say, not punk, like gothic. And
the book looks like it has a very gothic feel.
Like they just want to do, like they want to summon some things, and if you want to find out, you should read about. But it's very evil and dark as well of who they're trying to summon, and winds up this, and I'm not going to show it because it's too graphic. So they go into the forest to find out what happened, and Coffin Hill, like, she just leaves the scene, and she just says, she's just going to stay out of harm's way, and she's going to go somewhere else here, and it's to be continued in next issue. So really great origin story of Coffin Hill in Vertigo. Vertigo Comics has really amazing comic books that they came out with, because I have been reading some Vertigo comics, but for the first issue, should I say who the writer is for this?
No, you don't have to, but it's
oh yeah, Kathleen Kittredge and Eniko Miranda.
Eniko Miranda, and
who
that's
might be
the
the
artist.
artwork, Eniki. So, which one do you want to do?
I'll do both.
Okay.
The Walking Dead issue number 1 is coming. Was released again. This is the in color 10th anniversary special. I'm gonna give you guys a good picture. There was that one. Everything is now in color, and of course, if this issue sells well, I'm sure they'll recolor the entire Walking Dead series because of it, which I hope they don't in a way, because that'll be a pain in the butt. And then also you get the Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore pitch in black and white. This was the proposal that Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore gave to Image for their series. It's really short. It's only about
3 panels?
About 1, 2, 3, 4,
Four,
5 pages, and then the rest of it is all a rundown of the past 10 years worth of stuff that's been going on. An interview basically with Robert Kirkman and what's to come in the future for Walking Dead. This was a really enjoyable book. If you are a fan of The Walking Dead, you will be definitely picking this book up. If you're not, you won't. We don't have an issue 1 in single issue form, and especially because it was in color, we definitely wanted to get this issue. So this is definitely a good addition to your Walking Dead collection. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, definitely check that out. And surprisingly enough, it comes out the same week as The Walking Dead 115. All Out War starts here.
Yeah, the war against Negan?
Negan. Not Negan.
Well, I thought the A and it was the whole thing, and this is black and white, by the way.
This is back, yeah, they go back to the black and white format. So Rick leads a group of people against Negan. That's basically the long and short of it. I'm not giving you guys...
They're just planning out the whole war of how, you know, to get him to surrender. And you know, Negan, I mean, he reminds me of the Governor, this character from the Walking Dead TV series. And he's just saying, you know, I'm not going to surrender. And he gets somebody to say, you know, go home. You know, we don't want to be... a part of it.
Well, no, don't spoil too much. Basically, Negan has a ace in the hole, or a wild card that he plays at the very, very, very end of the issue. Literally, the last page of this. And just when Rick thinks he's ahead, you know, he's got everything figured out, or he's planned out every plot hole, Negan caught him. And I believe this is supposed to be bi-weekly now, at least until All Out War is over. But because there are 5 weeks in this month, probably it's going to be in 2 weeks, the next issue. This cover, by the way, is the midnight release cover from the 10th anniversary Walking Dead release. So we decided to get the midnight release because we weren't going to get all those connecting covers. I believe there was 10 for the 10 years of The Walking Dead. Really good. Walking Dead has been a spectacular comic series, spectacular TV show. The first episode came out last week, looked really, really good.
Yeah.
So, definitely something to check out with The Walking Dead. And Mike,
yes,
you can finish us off this week, because you've been enjoying this series.
Yes, and that is Paragon issue 1B. And last time I reviewed issue 1A, this is 1B. Now, this book... it kind of retells what happened in 1A, but there is dialogue.
It is. It's exactly 1A. It's in
it's exactly the same thing, but it goes more into the story about how
it's more of the story instead of more focused on the main character.
Right. About more info about his father, and really like how everything's in blue still, by the way. And it talks about his life more extended, and how he got into drug experiments for cash because he wasn't really at home all the time.
I'm not giving all the whole book away.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little bit. You know, it talks about how he got his power and how he met Latasha, with the whole car scene of what happened and the whole guns and all that, and how he got his costume, and really the whole part is the same way it ended in 1A. He meets his father.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Right. And it's to be continued, I believe. Yeah, next issue, father and son. And also, just to make note, I did say that Latasha, like, it looked like she died in that issue, but I don't think she died. I think that she still lived in this issue, but you can find out for yourselves how it happened. But really... definite recommendation, get Paragon, because that is really great, that issue.
Alright guys, so that's it for this week's indie rundown. Once again guys, we're just starting this series. This is only episode 2. Probably going to move back to the kitchen. We wanted to try recording it from in here, but room and everything else, I think we're going to end up going back to the kitchen. There will be episodes where, and we are going to be doing it actually for the next couple issues, there are going to be episodes where we're going to have comic books that were not released during the week of whenever. We're going to be reviewing some other indie books that we've either we received or we've had throughout the past couple of months that we got that we would like to review for you guys. So we're going to be doing books that are released in whatever specific week we're doing, plus more. So you have that to look forward to. Digital books, hopefully we'll be able to get you guys some internal artwork at some point. Not too sure at this moment. Once again, as I said, this is a evolving kind of review. Will evolve as time moves forward. I'm sure things will get better and better.
Yeah.
But until then, this was the indie comic review for October 9th again. Next week is October 16th.
Yep.
Already we started reading the 16th books. So look forward to the indie comic review on time next week. Now the New York Comic Con's over.
So
we're going to run down because we have the digital books that are gone.
Right, because I did that last time. Right.
So thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to check darkavengerink.com out, where we try to give you guys as many videos as we can each and every week. This way, when you go into your sub box and you check over your entire subscription for the week, we'll be there, and you'll have some excellent comic reviews, skits, and more to check out from us. Also, don't forget to check out Pete's Basement.
Yeah.
They were at New York Comic Con. We were there. We were in a few of the little shorts that they had on Pete's Basement Plus. And that's
one thing that we just want to say: stay away from Crossed.
And check out Bushido.
And check out Bushido, definitely.
Awesome comic of the month, definitely. Definitely something you're not going to want to miss out on. And don't wait for the trade paperback. It's $2.99 a week. You guys, trust me, it's worth the $2.99 a week. Also,
if you like samurais and all that other stuff.
Also, don't forget to check out the Related Recap Extra this week, which is myself, Mike, and Brent. And we're talking all New York Comic Con, all episode long. We also did that on the Tuesday live show on Dark Avenger Inc. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. And once again, want to plug that next week, on Tuesday, the live show is going to be huge. Dark Avenger Inc. will never be the same after next Tuesday's live show.
And you guys
so definitely check it out. No, you are not going to want to miss out on that. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Take care,
and the next review.
Exactly.
Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.